Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.
Beginning of another week. Hello, good evening, welcome. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live from Sabata Desawe Kanda, also live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279. We're all across the world on 3news.com. I am Alfred Ocansey. Tonight, the new Patriotic Party's decision not to contest the pending Tamale Central by-election occasioned by the death of the Member of Parliament, Alhaj Dr. Murtala Mohammed, has raised questions, with some suggesting undisclosed political reasons behind the move. We take a closer look at the issue as it unfolds. Also, the government's plan to reveal security-sensitive prophecies has sparked public debate over its purpose and practicality. We take a closer look at the initiative and engage key stakeholders. Stay with us tonight. Also on Ghana Tonight, in the Ashanti region, the Asantehemaa 2 earlier today officially announced the passing of the Queen Mother, Asantehemaa Nana Ama Konedu Yadom the third. We'll tell you exactly how Asantehemaa is coping with this rather unfortunate development. Stay with us. As always, you're an integral part of the conversation. Let's hear from you. The hashtag we're using is Ghana Tonight on Facebook and on X. Let's get talking. Let's settle for Ghana Breeze.
The Speaker of Parliament has cautioned Ghanaians against dismissing genuine prophecies from credible men of God. Speaking during a visit on Monday to some families of the victims of the helicopter crash, he indicated spiritual warnings and messages must not be taken for granted. Alban Bagbin also urged the bereaved families to take solace in the legacies of their departed relatives.
I want to remind all of us of the gift that the Almighty Allah gave to us. And our focus actually should be to thank God for what has happened. We say in all things, give thanks.
The tragic loss of 8 prominent Ghanaian leaders in last Wednesday's military helicopter crash at Asantehemaa has become a solemn reminder of the urgent need to tackle illegal mining. While paying floral tributes to the victims at Jubilee House, the management of Media General emphasized that their passing should serve as a wake-up call to intensify efforts against illegal mining. Albert Asen is the Group Chief Financial Officer.
We are more encouraged also to work and sacrifice for our nation, and especially when considering the fact that they were going to the program to launch an event to combat what has become an existential threat to our country, this illegal mining. So I think that we should not let their blood go down in vain, that this should be a wake-up call for all of us as citizens to wake up and make sure that we fight for what is right for our country, for posterity.
The Apostolic Fathers of Ghana, a group of pioneering leaders of the charismatic movement in the country, have expressed deep concern over the growing trend of unregulated prophetism in the country, describing it as divisive, confusing, and unbiblical. Speaking on behalf of the group, Apostle General Sam Kranchi encouraged prophets to be circumspect with their prophecies.
The fathers are all worried and disturbed about the trend of prophetism and the manner in which it is handled. It is divisive, it's confusing. We doubt if regulation can really bring sanity. But we believe that we, the fathers and the church, if we sit down together, we will be able, by virtue of grace and wisdom, be able to sanitize the situation and the system.
The opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, has decided not to present a candidate in the pending Tamale Central parliamentary by-election following the death of MP Alhaji Dr. Mutala Mohammed in the August 6 helicopter crash that claimed 8 lives. The decision, taken at a National Steering Committee meeting on August 11, 2025, was announced in a statement by NPP General Secretary Justin Kodia Frimpong. The Electoral Commission is expected to organize the by-election in the coming weeks in accordance with Article 112, Section 5 of the Constitution. Statesman and elder of the New Patriotic Party, Kwame Pianim, has warned that the NPP stands being irrelevant soon if the current leadership fails to listen to the elders and change course. The comment follows a weekend of social media banter between the spokesperson of leading presidential aspirants, Dr. Baumia, and Kennedy Ejapong, on who qualifies most to lead the NPP into the 2028 polls.
We are trying to restructure the party. We are trying to get the young people who are running the party to halt, look and listen, so we get the direction right. I know a lot of founding members of the party who are unhappy with the direction and state of the party.
The Ministry of Energy and Green Transition has approved a request by the Ghana National Gas Company Limited, Ghana Gas, to undertake scheduled maintenance shutdown of the Etwabo gas processing plant. The said maintenance will take place from August 16 to August 30, 2025. The plant's suspension of gas supply, according to the ministry, will allow for critical inspections, repairs and upgrades to enhance the plant's efficiency and reliability. The shutdown is part of government's broader commitment to ensuring the safe and sustainable operation of key national energy infrastructure.
There's more news on 3news.com. Make some time and visit 3news.com. This is Ghana Tonight. We're live on 3FM 92.7, also on TV3 Ghana on Facebook and on DSTV channel 279 and on YouTube at TV3 Ghana. As always, probably brought to you by Flamingo Paint, Simply Superior, Sasso Insecticide Spray and Call Kum Tum Tum Preco. Coming up next, the window closes for persons in possession of parts of the crashed helicopter and any other items at the crash site in Sikaman, that is Brofieudru, in the Ashanti region. What next? That's the question we're asking tonight. And the man who has been crisscrossing this area right from the day of this rather unfortunate incident that claimed the lives of some 8 gallant Ghanaians, going to be joining us shortly. But here's what we know. We're going to show you a video of what's been happening in the community when it comes to the search for the items, some of which the military, the member of parliament, and also the Ashanti Regional Coordinating Council, the Ashanti Regional Security Council, all believe that there are some items that were taken, albeit ignorantly, from the crash site by the community members in the Brofieudru, Sikaman area where this incident happened. And so they have appealed to the community to voluntarily return these debris or parts of the helicopter that crashed or any other item that they picked from the crash site for a cash reward. Now, that cash reward announcement was made about some 48 to 72 hours ago. Today marks the deadline, we understand, as the window now closes for the residents, and the military and then also the search team, investigators on the ground have also been going around as well, appealing to the residents to return any of these debris or the parts of the helicopter that crashed to them. Ibrahim Abubakar is Ashanti regional correspondent, is been to this community, this Brofio-Drusikaman area where this accident happened. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Ibrahim, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, we just saw the search team and the investigators as well in that community. Today is a deadline for that cash reward that was to be offered any resident who returns any of the helicopter debris or any other item that they took from the crash site. Any update on how the residents responded to this appeal? Did they volunteer and bring any of the items they have taken there?
Well, Alfred, I can say the compliance level has been high. Even as at this morning, some of the residents surrendered whatever they picked at the crash site to the assembly member for the area, who also in turn handed them over to the military and also the investigative team. Now, what they did was that they didn't allow the military or the residents to be bringing the items to the military themselves. And maybe for fear of intimidation, some of them wouldn't do it. So the assemblyman and the unit committee were in charge. So the directive was given. And from Friday, we were told that almost every day we get 1 or 2 people surrendering some of the things that they have picked from the crash site. Like you rightly mentioned, today was the deadline, and as at afternoon, the assemblyman had gathered what was given to him and he handed over to the investigative team. So they believe that the compliance level has been high, and some of the residents have also been commended. But you know, the persuasion started that after this window and someone still has some of these items to him and he's refusing to surrender, then that is where the force will be applied. But you know, it's not as if we were able to locate the helicopter that you can even say, okay, well, we can't find the boat, we can't find this part, so we are sure someone may have taken it, so let's go and search for it. For now, whatever that the community bring is something that the investigative team will have to make do of it, because you cannot tell whether they have more at home or they've surrounded everything that they picked at the crash site. So they have voluntarily complied with the directive, but like I said, the military still remains on the ground. They are still collecting all the debris. The ban on farming is also still in force, because until they are done with all their investigation, they are not allowing anyone to enter into the forest. Now, whilst the ban is also in force, steps have been taken to ensure that farmers who have their farms within the forest are compensated some way, somehow, before the ban will be lifted for them to go back and be able to continue with their farming activities.
And we understand that the farmers were asking for some sort of compensation because they couldn't attend to their farms because of this particular situation. NADMO has been responding to that. What's the latest on this?
Exactly. So let's say they were even asking for support, not compensation per se. And from Friday, their list were taken. The farmers, those who have their farms within the forest, their lists were taken. Today, we were told that some form of support have been given to them, so that at least it will allow them to also comply with that directive, because if that is where their source of livelihood is and they are not being offered anything, they may be tempted to go back to the farm. However, authorities have observed that if they are able to give them something to rely on for the next few days, then they may comply fully to that directive, and that is what is being done. And also with the issue of psychological services being provided, the Regional Coordinating Council today collaborated with the Konfanochi Teaching Hospital to offer those free psychological services for anyone who visited the crime scene, and for that matter, he or she has been traumatized one way or the other, not only in Kumasi, but even at the district level, these services are being rendered.
I see. And earlier, when we spoke, or sometime over the weekend, you had indicated that the residents, some of them returned wristwatches, a wristwatch that they had taken from the crash site. Any idea of some of the items that they have returned within this plea period that ends today?
Well, I've not been able to get specific details of what they have returned. All that I was told was that they have been complying and have been returning, but most especially has to do with the bits and pieces of the helicopter that people picked that they were returning. With the issue of the personal belongings, aside the wristwatch, I'm yet to hear whether anything else was received from the residents in the community.
And Ibrahim, I appreciate you for this. I know that you're going to visit the community again as well in the coming days, just for an update on what is happening there. But Ibrahim Abubakar, appreciate you for this. Thank you so much for the great work, as always. It's Ashanti regional correspondent, but let's not forget these gallant Ghanaians whom we have lost in the line of duty. Let's stay a bit further on this, because what's happening in the community as well, even though today is the end of the period for the cash reward for the return of any debris or any other item taken at the crash site. Dr. Ishmael Norman is a security analyst, is joining us on Zoom right now. Dr. Norman, thank you so much. There's that, if you listen to Ibrahim right now, the security agencies were there doing this investigation at the crash site and the community, Professor Sikaman. There's still that suspicion that even though the number of the community members there, of the residents, have returned voluntarily some of the debris of this helicopter that crashed within this period, this cash reward period ends today. Would you recommend or support that call that if there's that suspicion that some of them have not returned the debris, there should be a regulated search of their homes to retrieve them?
For having me. and good evening to your audience. Alfred, Article 31 of the 1992 Constitution allows the president to declare any part of Ghana as an area, a state of emergency. This is a political speech act and doesn't have to justify to anyone except to report back to Parliament. Alfred, just let me indulge you for 1 second. Article 31, clause 1 says, the president may, acting in accordance with the advice of the Council of State, by proclamation published in the Gazette, declare that a state of emergency exists in Ghana or in any part of Ghana for the purpose of the provisions of this constitution. The modern crime fighting approach and strategy is that suburbs, entire settlements, small settlements can be declared crime sites, cordon off, and conduct searches. After the moment a state of emergency is declared in an area, the people in that particular enclave, their privacy rights, their autonomy rights, and all of those constitutional protections fall. I'm very much familiar with this because Act 851, the Public Health Act of 2012, I drafted the portions that President Akufo-Addo relied upon to declare limited state of emergency, Greater Accra, Greater Kumasi. And so, if you understand disaster management really well, this should have happened long ago because of the spread of the aircraft equipment all over the place. And because the citizens, whether in bad faith or good faith, have also gone to the site, the crash site, and taken items and even expanded the spread of the equipment and the parts of the aircraft that ricochet all over the place by taking those parts to their homes. And so that immediate community should have by now been declared a state of emergency under Speech Act given to by the president by the Constitution to the president. Alfred, that is why on the 26th on your program, I said there should be a manual, SOP, for everything that we are doing, which we don't have as a nation, because a lot of people don't think about the intricacies of disaster risk management and criminology. So, yes, already the citizens have spread the pieces of the items that they stole or they took as souvenirs, and therefore the president may declare the entire enclave under a state of emergency to give the security agencies more opportunity to conduct house-to-house searches if they don't return those items. And that will mean you cannot travel outside the place. And because before you travel, your luggage will be searched. And under health conditions, because human body has been burned in that area, something we don't practice in this country, except maybe in India. Because of that, even the air quality in that place is compromised. And so with these reasons, if the president chooses, he can declare a state of emergency in that immediate enclave, and the community that are closest to, and conduct house-to-house searches if the people are not willing to provide the items that they stole.
I see.
This will be a good security reason to have declared that place, and I'm sure the president wasn't well advised, because that should have been done at least a day or two ago, so that the search could have been conducted by now.
Right. There's that also proposal, and that has been made by people of like mind, like yourself, that the search shouldn't be done in a way that would also breach some sense of security within the community, because then you would also push them to do other things, as it were, to either hide what they have taken or not even disclose it at all. Today is the end of this appeal to them with a cash reward. Now we got to know within this period that the cash reward was giving, a wristwatch was returned, aside from the other debris that we have seen, or my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar captured on video, which we have. What does that tell you?
But there were 8 people, and each one of them had a phone, probably a laptop, iPad, and watch. And there may have been also money in each one of them in their pockets, accessories that were there. Where are they? Did they all got burned? And I'm not a goldsmith, but do wedding rings get burned like that? How come we can't find them? How come we haven't found them? Or have they been found? You know, these are some of the questions that one needs to ask. And so for me, if I were an advisor to the president, I would have advised that declaration of state of emergency for that enclave long time ago. We don't have manuals for all of this. The SOPs are old as our independence. The security agencies are not helping us, all of them. And I'm not going to limit it to one agency. Some of these things should have been played out to the president as suggestion in terms of tracing the items that we can't retrieve, even though the villagers went there to take them. So I totally would support that effort.
I see. And Dr. Norman, before I let you go, earlier today, there was another unscheduled, or if you want to call it the emergency landing of one helicopter. Again, we're going to put it on the screen. 9GAFW occurred earlier today at Nkoko and Pekrom in the eastern region. While it is on record that no injuries were reported, the repeated emergency stops of the same aircraft, this same blue aircraft, the helicopter, within a short time frame, has also intensified questions about the safety of that particular, and then that's the status of this helicopter that we're talking about. For you, based on what we have seen happen on last week Wednesday, and then this one, there's been calls for a more holistic and expanded review of helicopters of institutions that rely on it for air travels. Is it one that you also support?
Yes, by all means. But it's the pilot, the cockpit culture is all part of it. Because if you're going to review the equipment, let's say you buy new equipment and you don't change the culture within the pilot, within the cockpit, these kinds of mistakes, even with brand new airplanes, sometimes crash because of this culture. And every aviation expert will tell you it is a very important aspect of aircraft crashes. So yes, it is good to review and even replace some of the equipment. But you also have to look at the human factor, because there cannot be just an. It is always by commission, omission, human error. That is not an accident. That's negligence. Every accident, whether it's auto accident, kitchen accident, food poisoning, that's negligence. Air crash is negligence. No accident happens out of the blue sky. Everything is done by commission or omission, and all. So even a new airplane, if we don't change the culture of maintenance, the culture of piloting, the culture of everything, we will end up with some of these incidents quite often.
Dr. Ishmael, I want to appreciate you for this. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us as security analyst, also a lecturer at the Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College. Thank you so much, Dr. Ishmael Norman, there. And that helicopter we showed you that did that emergency landing in Koko and Pekrom in the eastern region just about a few days ago had also made another emergency landing somewhere in Jumakon Kokobeng in the central region on the morning of Wednesday, that same Wednesday, August 6th. So that's why there's concern about this particular helicopter and why it was even made to fly within that short period. Again, today, there was another emergency landing. But, well, we'll see how things play out on this one. But this is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, we'll still stay on the matters of the fallout from this unfortunate incident that's led to the death of 8 gallant Ghanaians whom we are not going to forget. And the New Patriotic Party stepping aside in the pending Tamale Central by-election is one that also has generated conversation already. Earlier today, the party issued a statement indicating that they will not take part in the pending by-election as is expected because of the unfortunate incident that led to the death of the Member of Parliament for the Tamale Central constituency, Alhaj Dr. Murtala Mohammed. There will be a by-election. The NPP issued a statement earlier today, and portions of it we're going to put on the screen right now. They say they've resolved that it would not, as a party, take part in the Tamale Central parliamentary by-election to elect a replacement for the late Alhaj Honorable Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, Member of Parliament for the constituency, who was among the 8 who lost their lives in service of the Republic in the helicopter crash that occurred on Wednesday, August 6, 2025. The decision was taken by the party at a National Steering Committee meeting held earlier today at the party headquarters, pursuant to Article 10.1 of the party constitution. In arriving at the decision, the party considered many factors, including the circumstances under which the Tamale Central seat has become vacant and the possibility of a further polarization of the country at this critical time. The MPP is of the belief that it would be inhumane and unconscionable to subject the nation to a competitive process in search of a replacement for the departed Member of Parliament. The party believes that the tension and acrimony often associated with the conduct of by-elections in the country should be avoided. It is the considered view of the party that the greatest tribute that the NPP and the rest of the nation can pay in honor of the departed is not only to win the fight against Galamsey, but also to ensure a smooth and peaceful replacement for the good people of Tamale Central. Consequently, the NPP announces that when the Electoral Commission of Ghana opens nominations for the Tamale Central by-election in line with Article 1125 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, the party will, in accord with the national interest, not take part in the contest. Justin Frimpong-Kodia is the General Secretary of the party. He signed this statement. Well, now let's bring in Professor Smart Sapon. He is a political analyst, but shortly I'll show you the trends in the Tamale Central constituency. Prof, thank you so much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. Now, this decision by the NPP, even to not take part in the election, they're going way ahead of the Electoral Commission, even before the EC declares that decision to even have a by-election. There hasn't been any communication from the clerk to Parliament as enshrined in the Constitution. Did it come in too early? And based on the reasons the party gave, how does that strike you?
Well, so thank you so much, Alfred, and a good evening to our cherished viewers. I think once the unfortunate has happened, there is, no two ways about it, going to be a by-election. And I think as a party, and to settle all the necessary doubts that may arise with the inception of an eminent by-election, it was in time that the party would release this information so that back there in the constituency, there is no need for the party to start thinking about who is going to lead us in this and all those things. And I have seen views that perhaps they should have contested and all those things, but I mean, this is a decision in the right direction. We know parties exist to contest elections, but seriously, Alfred, there are circumstances under which our own friend and brother departed. If there's anything to do in respect of the departed, especially this particular friend of ours, I think it would be in good light, as the party has done, to pull out, to make sure that his replacement becomes a sober exercise and not the usual competition and the vigilante attacks and all those things that usually characterize our by-elections. The timing is okay, so that constituency will not have to be thinking as to how we are preparing for all these things. And then the motive, as we are told, in respect of the departed friend, I think these two combined makes it a worthy withdrawal.
But, well, the reasons are cited noble, as you reference it. But then again, beyond the reasons as well, are cited in there that it's the best way to honor the memory of the late Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed. They don't want any acrimony and all the violence and the tension that characterizes by-elections in this country. If you reference the electoral pattern in terms of the voting pattern of the constituency, you would say that the NPP really, it would be easy for them to take a decision like this, because when it comes to their showing and the electoral fortunes within the constituency, it is not much to write home about. Take a look at 2024, that election. In fact, the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed increased the NDC's fortunes there by over 35% as compared to the 2020 outcome. If you look at in 2020, you had the NDC poll over 41,000 of the valid vote cast, as against 2024, he increased the NDC's showing there to over 52,000 votes. That is 75.84% of the valid vote cast, as against the 54.93% in 2020. Now look at the NPP. The NPP actually lost steam in 2024 in that constituency when Dr. Murtala showed up. They dropped from the 2020 votes they got of 33,627 to 16,647. That's from 44.83% of the valid votes cast down to 24.16%. So really, any political party who has this sort will look at this and not go and waste this time, is it not?
Well, so the numerical analysis, as we have done, points to the fact that the Tamale Central is a safe seat for the NDC. But as you and I know, for good reasons, no political party stays out of an election, even in constituencies that he knows so well that is a stronghold of the other party. If that argument should be extended, then a place like Ketu South, NPP shouldn't ever think of filing a candidate. A place like Kwabre East, or maybe in Shayesu or Menshia, somewhere safe for the NPP, maybe we would have gone with the assumption that even for the general election, the NDC wouldn't need to field candidates. In fact, there are such safe seats across the country distributed among the NPP and the NDC. But what do we see? We see them still participating. In fact, there are some constituencies that the candidates that either NPP or NDC filed knows so well that as for this constituency, whatever I do, I'm not going to win. But for the sake of participatory democracy, for the sake of perhaps adding some votes to the general votes of the flag bearer and all those things, they do participate. So people participate in constituency elections for various reasons. And the numerical analysis only points to the fact that there are some safe seats for the NDC just as we have saved seats for the MPP. But then the spirit of election is the competition. And in Ejeso, for example, when your very good friend, the former Deputy Finance Minister, died, you realize that the circumstances made NDC pulled out of the election. The reason the NDC gave, especially the reason given by my own Yamin Joseph, the organizer, national organizer then, and even now, the reason was still in honor of the departed and all those things. Even though somebody could have extended the argument to say Ejeso is also a safe seat for the MPP, and that maybe the NDC knew that if they should participate, they were not going to make any much impact. Sometimes the numerical analysis is put aside, and the respect for one another. In fact, in this same vein, if the MP would have maybe been elevated to a different portfolio and therefore the seat became vacant, I'm sure the MPP, knowing too well that still is a safe seat, would have still want to put themselves up for competition, just as we've seen in instances in the past over the by-elections that we've had since 1992. So I would want us to, yes, still respect the fact that it's a safe seat for the NDC, and that perhaps if the NDC had contested, they would have still won. But the reasons is a noble set of reasons, and we can go with it.
And I do appreciate you for this, Professor Smasapon. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us with your thoughts on this. Professor Smasapon is a political analyst there, and the statistics tells it all. If you go on what website, 3news.com, what I'm showing you is there on 3news.com. It captures what happened in 2024, the elections. Dr. Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed showed up strongly for the NDC. And if you look at the net loss of the MPP in 2024 as against 2020, and the net gain of the NDC, in fact, Dr. Murtala Mohammed took more in terms of votes from the NPP in 2024 as compared to the votes that the NPP got in 2020. So you saw the net loss of 20.6%. in 2024. In the same way, the NDC gained, Dr. Murtala Mohammed gained as a candidate 20.9% as compared to the votes that the NDC gained in 2020. So he gave a strong showing of the party, or for the party, in that Tamale Central constituency. And Christopher Mwako is a man in the Northern and Savannah region. He is connecting with us from the Tamale Central constituency, the constituency of the late Member of Parliament, Dr. Murtala Mohammed. We understand there's going to be a funeral, the final funeral rites of the late Minister for Environment, Science and Technology and MP for Tamale Central, Al-Hajj Dr. Murtala Mohammed, is to be held in Tamale tomorrow, August 12. Tamale South MP and Education Minister, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, Tamale North MP Al-Hassan Suin, and Sagnerugu MP Ata Issa visited the family house earlier today to commiserate with them. We have videos of that. That's what you're seeing right now. It happened earlier today. You see Al-Hassan Suhaini there, Deputy Minister, Roads and Highways, together with the Education Minister, Haruna Idrisu, all there at the family house of the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed earlier today. And Chris, tell us, you are at the venue for this funeral tomorrow. I see it right behind you. Tell us how far preparations have gone so.
Yes, Alfred, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
Yes, so Alfred, behind me, as you can see, canopies are being erected, awaiting tomorrow here at the family house of Honorable Murtala Mohammed, late. And so some family members, including other mourners and sympathizers, have converged here to also pay their last respect to him ahead of tomorrow's final funeral rites. You know that Honorable Murtala belonged to the Al-Sunnah sect of the Muslim community. And for them, when someone dies, between the first and the third day, once the funeral is performed, that brings finality to the funeral rite of the person. And so once the burial has been done, yesterday, tomorrow, Tuesday, that would have been 3 days after he was buried. So tomorrow, the final funeral rites will be held. And after tomorrow's final funeral rites, that will be all for the funeral rites of Honorable Murtala Mohammed, in accordance with the Al-Sunnah beliefs. Now, Alfred, one issue is that earlier today, the Education Minister, Haruna Idris, in fact, he left some 15 minutes ago. He left this place some 15 minutes ago, together with the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Al-Hassan Suini, MP for Tamale North. We also had MP for the Sagnaru constituency, Ata Isa, also coming to sit and sympathize with the family. And so, even though most of the people have begun to disperse to their homes, hoping to return tomorrow 9 a.m. for the final funeral rites of Honorable late Dr. Murtala Mohammed.
And we know for sure the close relationship that the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed had with the Honorable Haruna Idrisu. We recall when that change in the parliamentary leadership for the NDC took place ahead of the 2024 elections. Was one person together with likes of also Al-Hassan Suini, who were quite clear about not being too happy about how things played out. Now, we've seen them on the ground. You've spoken to some members of the family of the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed. How are things going to play out tomorrow? Hello, Chris, can you hear me? Unfortunately, we lost Christopher Marco there. Yes, Chris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now,
Perfect.
Alfred.
I was asking how the ceremony will be tomorrow, if you have an idea of how things will proceed.
Okay, so tomorrow by 7 a.m., family members will gather here at the family house, awaiting the imams from the Al-Sunnah community to come and perform the final funeral rites. Now, I'm told by members of the family that the final funeral rites, that is the Adua in Islam, will be taking place around 9 a.m. And so preparatory arrangements have been made even from this night till tomorrow for the final funeral rites. A lot of dignitaries are expected to attend this funeral, and so they are making provisions for people to come and also have a place to sit and pay their last respect to him. After the imams are done with the Adua, that means that they are done with the final funeral rites of the late Honorable Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed. And so there isn't going to be any big ceremony or packed ceremony. It's just going to be family members gathering from 7 a.m., other sympathizers and mourners joining. Then by 9 a.m., the final funeral rites, that is the Adua Islamic final funeral rites, will take place, and that will be all. Alfred.
Thank you so much. Christopher Malcolm is our Northern and Savannah regional correspondent. He's going to be at this funeral of the late Dr. Murtala Mohammed tomorrow. So stay with us right from the 7 a.m. We'll bring you the live coverage of that one. We'll be back shortly after this quick break here on Ghana Tonight.
reporting from the Takoradi Market Circle.
From the heart of the Upper West Regional Capital.
From the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom.
Reporting from Sunyani.
From the Central Business District of Navrongo.
The parliamentarians are on recess.
This is where it all unfolds. The moments that potentially alters the course of our nation and the world. These are the individuals we recognize, the voices we amplify, who appears on screen and who contributes behind the scenes. With professionalism at our core, we bring you news you can trust, impact journalism that makes a difference. This illustrates how diverse perspectives enhance our strength and reinforces our mission. This is 3 News. Leaders in breaking news, exclusive interviews, facts and analysis on TV, radio, online and digital. 3 News, first in news.
Welcome back. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, Asantehemaa Nana Ama Konadu Yadom III has passed on. Now, the Asante Otumfuo Osei to the second confirmed her demise on Monday, that's earlier today, during an Asantehemaa Council at the Menchia Palace in Kumasi. Asantehemaa Council meeting earlier today. The Queen Mother, who died on Thursday, spent 8 years on the stool. Take a look.
The man Santiago said, "Nano pay." The Jassy, Coaching and Console. Kofufune Kenya said about 2 men.
So, I don't feel right. No. So, the person on said, "I'm not trusting." Obanwala, Asantehemaa, the Jassy, Coaching Console, Bema, Kidasene, Nabukufuima, Kidasema, that's about 2 men.
By any day, 2 men himself, my brewer. I know you are without no power or 12 now. I'm sorry.
Yo, said the 2 man said, Asantehemaa, Kotokohina brewer. Yawada no one to do the dear. So, I don't want to be here. A real one, Sabi, who they can say, you want to deal with you know, as so called a Namaho, Solanano.
Yes, a crown was a make corner, and to me as a month from when I went to
Yo, says a bazaar or 2 points. Say about 2 and mono. There's a flat at mine. That's when as it always be a so giant. Now get the SC, no, also 2 on them.
I am an anonymity.
See, yes, you know, Asantehemaa, dear. Sir, and feel what you need. Nephew could be so one so clap on an amonchain. No one ever, I'm not going to toss me as that. Go the other one toss me as that. The store to Sebi, Naimwa, or then I'm not now. Come on. No more was a good idea. Going to be there. I baby, the Rasso. So I can so on a monchain. You are, you be on one and only last what's it. What is you be on and only last what's it? ATM. Go to train.
My brain is yeah, what there be now.
So that's Otumfuo Osei to the second there earlier today. Also announced preparation for the 1-week observation of the late Asantehemaa Nana Konadu Yadom III, scheduled for Thursday, August 21. Now, it follows the official announcement of the Asantehemaa's demise, which occurred on Thursday, August 7, 2025. The 1-week rite will be held at the forecourt of the Menchia Palace in Kumasi. Now, mourners from across Ghana and beyond are expected to gather to pay their last respects to the Asante monarch. After 8 years of dedicated service to the Ashanti Kingdom, Palace officials say the event will follow traditional Asante customs, with chiefs, queen mothers, government officials, and members of the public expected to attend in mourning attire. We'll keep you updated on this. But before we go, some news coming through from the Ghana Police Service. 2 suspects in possession of 519 compressed parcels of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp have been arrested by the Central East Regional Police Command. The suspects, identified as Eric Ncheche, 30 years old, and Francis Klu, 28, were apprehended while offloading the parcels from a Toyota Hilux pickup truck with registration number GSA 6849-2021 at Nyanyano in the Gomoa East District. According to the police, the 2 are currently in custody and assisting with investigations. The vehicles involved has also been impounded as part of ongoing inquiries into the case In a statement issued by the command, the Nyanyano District Police personnel who effected the arrest were commended for their vigilance. This morning is on 3news.com. On behalf of the rest of the team, I want to say thank you so much for staying with us here on Ghana Tonight. We're back again tomorrow. I'm Alfred. Ocansey. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.
Sasso insecticide spray and coil.